If you only practice English in your head, you'll stay stuck. So in today's video, guys, I'm gonna show you the secret ways I practice English at home when nobody's watching. These aren't study tips. This is my private practice that builds confidence fast, even if you feel shy speaking out loud. I really get the struggle. I used to be terrified of speaking English because you know what? A lot of people don't struggle with English. Many of you have a lot of English skills, but we struggle with the feeling of being judged, with the feeling of being watched. So at home, you have the biggest advantage: zero pressure. In just a second, I'll walk you through 6 ways I practice English speaking at home. You can steal whatever feels natural to you, and you can leave whatever doesn't. Hi guys, welcome back to Wanna Speak by Veronique. My name is Veronica. I am from Poland. Apart from my native language, Polish, I also speak English, obviously, and Spanish fluently. On this channel, we learn smarter, not harder. I don't want you to waste your precious time. So let's go with the first way of practicing English at home. Input has to go first, but not passive input. Hear me out. Input, meaning I need to put things into my head first. And for that, I use the comprehensible input theory by Stephen Krashen. In plain English, it means that I watch movies, shows. In general, I consume content I mostly understand. The content that's slightly above my level. So I don't get frustrated because it's too difficult, and I don't get bored because it's too easy. I find this sweet spot. So your task is very simple. You're gonna need to pick a topic you already live in. For example, if you are at an intermediate English level and if you want to travel, then you're gonna watch some travel vlogs. If you are into business, you're gonna watch business content. If you like self-development and your English level is already pretty advanced, then you're gonna watch self-help videos. So you get my point. You need to choose your input very carefully. It cannot be just random videos on the internet. And here is a very important part. I'm not looking for new words. That's too vague, that's too generic. I'm looking for full phrases I can reuse in my real life. And I make it very specific. For example, I'm a digital nomad, meaning I travel full-time. I'm in Argentina right now, then I'm gonna go to Brazil, then I'm gonna go to the US. I'm gonna go to Rio de Janeiro pretty soon. So I go to YouTube and I type Brazil, Rio de Janeiro travel vlog. Now I'm gonna do this exercise of picking 3 phrases. So watch with me and let's pick them together.
But it makes a lot of sense because
it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. That's a really nice phrase, and I think it's gonna be super useful in my life. So I'm gonna write it down.
cafe was recently ranked amongst the top 10 most beautiful cafes in the entire world.
And I can see why.
And I can see why. This is a really nice phrase, and I can see why you say it, and I can see why you do this. And now I can see why this is happening. I'm gonna write it down.
I cannot wait.
And I cannot wait. So this is your first task. Watch something using comprehensible input, meaning you understand the main point, but you still learn some new words, and then you write 3 full phrases down. That's it for now. And if you want to learn even faster, you actually can by using narrow input. Narrow input, meaning you choose one topic for a period of time and you stick to it. For example, for the next month, I'm gonna only choose travel vlogs and I'm gonna watch them a lot, ideally from the same people. Meaning the content creator has to stay the same. Why? Because all of us have different accents and all of us have different expressions that we use daily. In general, repetition is what makes it stick. Okay, the next way is the part where you get a real speaking environment and real feedback. And this is where italki helps a ton. This part of the video is sponsored by italki, but I want you guys to remember that I only recommend tools I genuinely believe in. Italki is an online language learning platform where you can take personalized one-on-one lessons with native speaking teachers. If you want to improve your English at home, you need a real speaking environment, not just writing or reading, but a real conversation. On italki, you practice with real native speaking teachers who help you improve speaking and listening skills naturally, the same way you would do in real life. What I really like is that you get real-time feedback and guidance from teachers who actually know what they're doing. They know exactly what to correct and how to explain complex things in a simple way. That's something you don't just get by studying alone. Look at my lesson.
The biggest challenge that intermediate learners face probably is patience. When you're a beginner, you can see a lot of results really fast and it's really exciting. But as soon as you get to intermediate, it's really hard to see progress.
I really loved this teacher's accent. She's from the US, she's a native speaker, and it really helped me pay attention to my own pronunciation. So it also lets you immerse yourself in the culture, different accents, ways of speaking without living overseas, which is huge, right? If you are learning from home. And italki is very flexible. There is no subscription, you pay per lesson. You can choose a teacher, a schedule, and a price that works for you. If you want to practice your speaking with real teachers, click the link below, and using my code Veronic2, when you buy $10, you get $5 for free for your first lesson. But this discount is only available for the first 50 users. So be quick. So if you ever feel that practicing English at home feels lonely or weird, this is one of the easiest ways to make it feel real. So we already put a lot of phrases into our heads. The second task we have is to pull them out of our brains. Understanding is one skill, but speaking is a whole different story. And we already know that because I talk about it in almost all of my videos. So I grab my cell phone and I set a timer for 1 minute. And I talk for 1 minute using these 3 phrases I just picked from that video. I use these 3 phrases on purpose. I really want them to be in my active vocabulary. So we have the timer set. And now you have 2 options. You can basically talk to yourself for 1 minute at home, or you can record a voice note to a friend, or you can send it to someone you trust. I'm gonna go with the first option. Today, I needed to wake up around 9:30 because the Wi-Fi in my Airbnb apartment was not working and the technician needed to come. And yeah, it made a lot of sense that he had to come because we didn't know how to solve this problem, and now I can see why it was not working. They explained to me that the Wi-Fi was not working because something happened with the connection and the company. There was some internal problem that we couldn't solve, and I really couldn't wait for this Wi-Fi to come back because I work with clients, so I have a lot of one-on-one conversations, and I needed to connect with my clients on Zoom, and for that I needed a stable Wi-Fi connection, a stable internet connection, and that's it. Maybe my story wasn't really engaging and inspiring. It doesn't matter. Sometimes what you say to yourself doesn't have to be really exciting. It has to be yours. The rule here is very simple. Don't stop. If you don't know a word, rephrase it or explain it in some other words. Describe what you mean, but don't stop. Have you ever had that problem where you want to say something, but your brain automatically translates everything from your native language to English, and when you say it in English, then it doesn't sound so well as it did in your head? Well, because you are still not thinking in English, you are still thinking in your native language. So my solution here is obviously shadowing. I shadow native speakers, meaning I copy native speakers. I copy native speech to train my rhythm, but also to train my brain to think in English. I do it both with English and with Spanish. Sometimes I want my brain to operate in English when I record YouTube videos or when I talk to my clients, but now I'm in Latin America, so I need to speak Spanish in my day-to-day life. I have a Spanish boyfriend. My point is, my brain has to operate in 3 languages daily. And this is where shadowing helps me a ton because it helps me focus on this language. So, how do I do it? I take a short clip from like 15 to 30 seconds. I make sure to pick something that's gonna be useful, not some old-fashioned language, as for example in some shows like The Witcher, or there was this really popular show, something with games. I don't really remember, but they were using these old-fashioned words and old-fashioned vocabulary. We don't need that. I mean, it's useless, right? So I still have here this vlog from Rio.
Easily become one of my top 5 cities of all time.
I know.
One of my top 5 cities of all time. One of my top 5 cities of all time. My next step is to listen one more time, but this time I'm gonna slow it down. So on YouTube, on Spotify, on Netflix, basically on every platform, you have this wonderful option of slowing things down.
One of my top 5 cities of all time.
I know.
One of my top 5 cities of all time. Take all the time you need. Repeat 10, 20, 30, 40 times and play with it. Make it fun. Then I bring it back to normal speed and I speak along. One of my top 5 cities of all time. And the last thing I do, I say it again without audio. I'm not trying to be perfect here, guys. I'm trying to train my mouth to move in English, train my facial muscles to adapt to new sounds. I know it's gonna be messy. I know it's gonna be chaotic. Sometimes I do get frustrated. I would lie to you if I told you that shadowing is all flower power. It's not. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? Screw it. But I always go back to shadowing because I know how effective it is. I can feel and hear how much my accent improved just by shadowing native speakers daily. Look at this video that I recorded exactly 3 years ago in January when I was in Thailand. Listen to my accent. Pay attention to sounds and pronunciation of each word that you come across. It is really embarrassing. I'm not saying that my accent now is perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but I think that my accent right now is much clearer. You can hear that I'm not an American, which is okay. It's totally fine, but at least I'm aware of the sounds. Shadowing alone can change how fluent you sound, even if your vocabulary stays the same. If you understand what I'm saying, if you understand this video, if you are still here, it means that you have enough words in your vocabulary bank. You know a lot. Now it's time to transform this knowledge into practice. Way 5 is my favorite for confidence. It's not the easiest one, but it's the most effective one. For that, you're gonna need a recording device. It can be your cell phone, your camera, your laptop. Record a 60-second video. The rule is record today, review tomorrow. You cannot see your own mistakes if you don't record yourself. When I recorded my first video, I literally ran to the bathroom, I closed the door, and I was like, I'm not publishing it. It felt so embarrassing, so cringe, and I'm not exaggerating. When I first heard my voice and saw my face speaking in English, I was like, but you know how much it helped me? I realized that I was making this mistake over and over again. Sometimes I wasn't pronouncing S in plural. For example, I was saying, yeah, and there are a lot of way. And I was like, why don't I say ways? I don't know, it was just something that I wasn't aware of. You don't have to publish this video anywhere. It can be 100% private. It's on your cell phone. You decide. If it wasn't for my recording, I wouldn't really be aware of my accent and of what I can improve. So you basically talk to your phone, you don't have to look at your face, and you go like, so today I was working in a coffee shop, and it was this really nice coffee shop in Palermo here in Argentina, and I ordered myself a flat white with regular milk. They served this flat white with oat milk, which wasn't really a problem, but I really tried to like watch the calories and my sugar intake, so I asked them to give me the flat white with regular milk, and they did, and as a complimentary gift, they gave me also a little piece of pistachio cheesecake, which was really tasty. You can also set a timer, and you can do it for 1 minute, for 5 minutes, as long as you want. Tomorrow you watch this video and you will be able to spot your mistakes. And sometimes when we are a bit stressed out, we make mistakes even though we know these are mistakes. This is what happens to me. Sometimes when I record a YouTube video, I'm a bit nervous and I make mistakes, and I know these are mistakes, but I make them anyway. So this is, this self-observation practice. The last habit I'm gonna share in today's video is journaling in English and then reading it out loud. So I'm gonna go and grab my journal. So here I have my journal. It's pretty, I know, I bought it in Thailand last year. Obviously, writing and reading matter a lot. I recorded this video on reading if you want to check it out later after watching this one. But I don't like to journal like a school assignment. I journal to support speaking. I write 5 simple lines about my day, about, real life, and then I read it out loud once. Only once. So let's say that I open my journal right now on a random page. It's pretty private. I journal more about my emotions. So this is like, self-therapy, let's say. So here is something I wrote in March last year. So you have a brain and mind on your own. Listen to only those who have achieved what you want. Use it and reach your own decisions. Keep your eyes and ears wide open and your mouth closed. Wow! This is what I wrote? At the beginning, you can start with writing something simple about your life, and then basically, as I always say, the sky is the limit. I really like to explore the inner world, psychology, emotions, and psychology of success. Like, this is what drives me. This is what I'm passionate about. That's why I write about it and then I read it out loud. One more thing I do, I pick one sentence and I say it in 3 different ways. For example, if I wrote that I'm tired, I was really worn out today. Today took a lot out of me. I'm tired, but I got things done. To expand my vocabulary. This trains flexibility and it actually builds language around your real life. Not some random textbook topics. It's about you. So these are my tips, guys, on how I improve English speaking at home. Of course, you can talk to ChatGPT as well. There are so many different methods I use every single day. I don't have enough time to say everything in one video, but that's a good thing because you can explore more videos on this channel. Let me know if there is some other way, method, strategy that you use to practice English at home alone. If you would like to connect with a real teacher, give italki a try, and I'll see you next week in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys.